Today's story starts with a collision, bicycle versus motor vehicle, and how it forever changed an engineer's life and his career and his family. So I am excited for you to learn from Dr. Claas Gunther and hear his story. I'm Jenna Quinton, founder of Adjust Your Media and host of What Chiropractic Doesn't Cure, Stories of Innate. This episode was a very special one, an interview filmed in Mallorca, Spain during the Discover event with Dr. Mark Styers. So go to the show notes and you'll find links for more information about all of the things. So I know a little bit, as we've talked, that you were an engineer, but I would love for you to tell us, how did you get into chiropractic? How has chiropractic changed your life?
Wow, that's a deep question, I gotta admit, but it's how chiropractic changed my life. It changed my life in so many different ways. I'm more flexible, I'm more healthier than I was when I was still playing handball actively. I did it for 20 years, so my back was pretty tight. And it changed not only my physical state, it changed my whole mental state. It's just released so much mental subluxations as well that I'm by far more in inner peace now than I was.
Yes.
When I was it more.
Yeah. So you were working as what kind of engineer?
I did my studies as an energy and environmental engineer, so I worked with power plants, with simulations, with all kind of water treatment things and whatever, also the control behind surely. And so this is basically what I studied. Then I did a PhD in energy techniques. Basically, it's applying a CO2 reduction technique. But the analysis I did was on a certain wiring, which led to it's not better than another, so we won't build it, but I designed a boiler for it. And during this time when I was actually working for university to do the research, I had the crazy idea on the 10th of January 2014 that I might just ride my bike today. So I took my bike ride to the university, and I was supposed to go after work to an appointment at Miss Busner, she was in the same office as Dr. Styers, Dr. Mark Styers. He's practicing in Hamburg. And so I was on my way there. Didn't have my lights on my bike, so I said, yeah, you should really stop to get some. And I did it one point, about a mile, let's say, from the office. So I got my light, I was really confident and cool riding it. And then there's a crossing about 150 meters from the office practice, whatever. And there was this car, the young lady, and I was looking at her. Oh yeah, she got me. I was rolling on the street and I got hit by the car. Wow. And I actually landed on the street, being completely absent for some seconds. I just wanted to hammer my bike in the right way to get going. And I realized my back tire was like this. So then I got a bit shaky and sat down on the ground again. And I realized the lady was already out of her car and crying over there. So it was a bit, there was some time I'm unconscious basically. So I went up to this practice to see Ms. Rösner, and I was standing there and said, I had an appointment at her at 6:30. And the lady said, well, no, she isn't in today. Didn't we call you up? And I said, oh, yeah, bad luck. And so I said, okay, then I'm having bad luck. Goodbye then. And she said, no, what's wrong with you? And I said, oh, I just got hit by a car. So I'm a bit shaky. So no, let Mark see you. So I went to Dr. Styers into the office. He checked me up and gave me my first adjustment. And we're getting goosebumps. And since then, I've been actually in it now for 11 years, or close to 11 and a half. And after this car accident, I was with neurologists and surely MRA, I think you call it, from the head, and to see are there any vessels ripped or whatever was there. No, everything's fine. So I went to the neurologist, and in parallel I went to the chiropractor, and the neurologist did lots of tests every time, and I was still not really back, and I had a problem with my horizon dropping on one side. So every time I entered a larger room or anything, I might just hit a wall, or was really bad. And I was a lot of kayaking and dragon boat races, and I couldn't go on because I was afraid being underwater and it drops on one side. The bunny rats, it will just be in the water. So I stopped that and went to this neurologist for 6 weeks because that's the typical care time in Germany. And they said, well, whatever's now, gonna stay forever. wow, thank you very much, doctor. I'm not allowing this.
Yeah.
It won't. But this mental strain already came out of the adjustments I got in the talking to my chiropractor. So he lined me up for the doctors inside of you. Just take care of 5 basic elements of health. And so this is what I followed. He took me to, actually, I'm wearing this t-shirt. He took me to a trainer that is actually working as a priest in his main job, but he loves people and he loves to push people. He's one of the strongest I know, and he's close to 60 and he's really fit, admiringly fit. So he took me there doing 2 hours. And in the first 2 minutes, we did 40 squats with a bar on our back. And I managed to do this class and even did the second, and it took me into a time where I did really intense sports. And this was just possible because I was adjusted mentally and my body. And by the time, I don't know, the neurologist told me this is going to last, and maybe a month later it was already nearly gone because we kept working on the 5 factors of health. And then it was gone forever. I don't know when, but it popped up once in a while, but maybe 5 more times. So this showed me the power of your body. Then a good friend of mine, actually his dad was a head of a company and was working very late, and he slipped in his office and hit his C4, I think, and it broke. And then he got told, you're going to lay in bed forever, basically. And there was this crazy group of chiropractors, more or less, bringing him back to life. And he's now capable to even, I think, driving a car with this joystick thingy. And he's just capable of living a life. I mean, sure, it's limited, but it is it's by far a higher quality than just keep laying and die. So seeing this change and possibilities, I was like, I want to follow that.
Yeah. With all of this healing inside and out, what made you decide to switch careers to learn to be a chiropractor?
So I was always having an attachment to the body, and I was going to the chiropractor very regular. The first 2 years means 4 to 5 times a week.
Okay.
So I was in real intense care, and I felt all my change, and I thought like, wow, that's so intense. I was just curious. I also know my father was, when he was younger, going to the doctor once in a while to get his sacrum moved without anything else. This is already a great impact on people, but just seeing when you activate the whole structure, what a change it does. I got so curious. I was hanging in my chiropractor's ears like, can you please teach me? I want to learn. I want to learn. And so I was allowed to come to his seminars, always Saturday and Sunday he did them. Saturday morning I was allowed to listen to the philosophy, and then I needed to go because before it was hands-on, because there were surgeons, chief of surgeons, just medical doctors, and I'm an engineer, so you can't just bring me in. So I learned the philosopher by Dr. Styers, who, was always a question. You gotta see it from a certain rational point. I was an engineer. I just trusted Newtonian physics, things I can calculate, things I can simulate, things that I like. Yeah, I can do my mathematics, and I can somehow get it, like run it at 97 degrees C and whatever. But it's this opened up basically my philosophical corner that wasn't allowed. So just by teaching the tone philosophy, I was still so sucked in. So Mark, he basically allowed me to learn the philosophy. And 2018-19, he started a new program, and he said, well, we go over basic biomechanics first, see how you're doing. And then he said, all right, well, you got kind of, okay, let's keep going. You can show up to the next seminar. So I was like, I can go on. And so, we learned the first techniques. I was allowed to work on him that one seminar, which I still remember that his kidneys were tickling. So that was really cool to me. And it made me more curious and more curious. Like, so amazing how you can have an impact on people with little impulses, either mental or physical or whatever frequency. and see it change.
Yes.
Sometimes you just work in the aura of people and it changes instantly when you enter it or something. So this is just curiosity, and I wanted to learn and go on. So I was learning by Mark for 2 years, study, going to university again. So there's a shortcut, more or less, where you can do is it called naturopath, I think, a healing practitioner. So you're allowed to touch people. And you have certain limitations, but you can work with people by that. And that was the shortest way. It's not easy, but the shortest way to get to the step that I'm allowed to work as a chiropractor, which was 2022.
Yeah. So then, as an engineer, you've already mentioned structure and Newtonian physics. Do you still sometimes see the body as a engineering structure?
Well, it's kind of I was working with 3D models because we did flue gas cleaning and we needed to do all the steelworks and how we fit it in into an existing structure and things like that. So I kind of have a 3D imaginary capabilities, maybe, that are at least trained a bit. So when I run, that's why I needed to train also as a young man to learn to read the body, the fibers and whatever. So we really trained a lot. I wasn't aware at that time. And so you get a 3D imprint. Now with more learning from Dr. Katina Manning and Dr. Mark Styers, you even get like a 3-dimensional movable thing and see things are stuck. You want to get them flowing, lymph, blood, whatever, tissue, get that connected, and it's just amazing.
Beautiful. So one thing you said, you talked about 5 elements of health. I'd love for you to share, what are those 5? You said fitness.
Definitely, it's fitness. You can set your base.
Yeah, so what are the others?
It's nutrition. And I also count drink and chill into the nutrition. You gotta balance your body. You're made of so much fluid, water. Choose your water wisely. Don't yell at it. Be thankful. And by this you can set your tone. But so it's definitely nutrition and drinking, not alcohol. Avoid it, please. Then it's about your sleep and your mental state. So be kind to yourself. Sure, push yourself. Be disciplined, but you can go hard on yourself, but you should be in balance. And then it's the central nervous system, which is just the storage of our whole life. And so any trauma, anything you had is somehow manifesting in it, and you want to keep it flowing.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.